Hello, YouTubers and all those up and watch. Hope you're all doing quite well. Got a little treat there for a lot of the folks who, well, watch the Game of Thrones daily. Quite bluntly, I'll tell you that I don't watch it at all. Like, I cannot. It's just the fact that I don't watch it. Wait till it finishes, then I'll actually watch it. I mean, wow, this person's a douchebag. Freaking gold sellers here. There we go. Anyway, so got right here the book. Now you got this as a pre-order for pre-ordering the game, which I think a lot of people probably did. They thought this game was going to be extraordinarily good. It really wasn't. It was very mediocre and trash. I mean, it was not a good RPG at all. Like, I played it for at least like 45 to an hour, and I was just bored out of my fucking mind. The combat was just not that good. It was not very refined. It felt very sloppy. A lot of people are probably going to disagree with me because they're fanboys of Game of Thrones, so therefore any opinion about the game is pretty much bureaucracy, and basically you're going to be burned at the stake. Typical fanboy syndrome. So then, it came with this inside the book, which again, you got this from, like, I guess GameStop or Best Buy or Walmart. I'm not sure particularly which stores carried this, but it came with this. It came with a little pamphlet in here, a little code, which you can use for a mini guide, which you get a little sample of this right here, which I'll probably get this when it's cheap. I mean, Atlas product, or at least published by Atlas. So I'll basically grab that. I mean, again, I don't like the fucking game at all. I mean, it was not that good, but I mean, this isn't going to disclude it from anyone else who actually thought it was decent and whatever. So, I'm going to give a quick plug towards the store I bought this from, because I felt bad because of how cheap I actually got this book from on eBay. So, let me give this a quick plug here. Vagabond Collectibles. Now, I'll give you guys here a little look at the card here. I'm not sure how good that shows, but at least try to give a little bit of a pan so you guys can see the name and all that. Really cool little avatar in the top left corner there. A little pixely. But I'll type in the redirects towards his channel, not his channel, but his stores on Amazon and eBay. Because again, I'm going to give the guy some more customers, at least potentially, if you guys are pretty much interested. And that, just let him know I sent you. I mean, just that way he knows, and, you know, he'd be like, oh, thanks, you know, I don't know. I mean, then at the end of the day, I guess it's sort of that valor where you just, you know, you do a good deed and you shouldn't really expect anything back, but, you know, just let him know that someone's showing some love to him, I suppose. I guess. So, alright, Game of Thrones visuals from the RPG. I'm going to give a quick tour of this book. I'm not going to give you too much of a detailed, I'm not going to show every fucking page. It's going to take me forever. I'm not giving you story time with the visual book here. So, you got the book here, embroidered on the edges here, blah blah blah. Looks like a classic, you know, it's late of the century kind of, or early of the century, excuse me, book, which looks like something came from the show a little bit, which it kind of does, I suppose. Only watched the trailer episode, or the intro episode. That was after that, I just stopped watching. It wasn't the fact I hated it, it was just the fact that I caught it at second mid of the show episode, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? Don't care, and turned it off. I'll wait till the show's over completely, then I'll watch it, but just that way I can watch it at my own pace. So, Game of Thrones, visuals from the RPG on the spine of the book here. Artbook, as always, as I usually should, not for resale, which, again, whatever. Embroidered in the back here, too. Which I don't understand why they put such detail behind the embroidery of not for resale. It must be really important to them. Because, you know, people are going to resell these anyway. So, inside you got the completely black. You got the visuals from the show, the throne here, which don't clue what the fuck that actually is, nor should I really give two fucks, I suppose. I have no detailed explanation of the show either. Don't try to explain it to me in the comments, I don't care right now, because I'm not going to watch it anyway. Not to try to be mean, it's just the fact that I don't care as much to know about it. So you're asking me then, why'd you buy the book? Well, it's because it was cheap. I own the game anyway, and it was not very good on Steam, but it is not very good. And I like art books, if that makes sense. And plus, if I do end up getting into the show once I watch it eventually, I'll have a collectible to appreciate, I suppose, too. even though it's nothing really truly to do with the show, just a little bit of a tie-in, I suppose, or a little bit of a sew-in to the storyline. This has been worked on for a while, at least this said game was. Has a little bit of timeline of what the fuck is going on. Little brief explanations of who is what and what is who. Again, the storyline does not make any lick of a sense to me. I was playing it for an hour and I was just like, what the fuck is going on? House Tree here, which is explains the houses in the game / in the show. I'm assuming anyway. I'm probably wrong. I don't know. Here's a little bit of a footnote or a key of what these are, such as the mistress, which is kind of funny actually. The mistress, that fucking whore. Anyway, siblings, offspring, spouse, you know, dirty shit like that, I suppose. As every good show, there's always a mistress behind the games, or creators behind the games of Game of Thrones RPG. Which, I mean, the idea of making the game into an RPG was good on paper, it's just sadly it was not executed too well. I'm not blaming the creators per se for a bad game. I think it was just because the production was rushed, I think, a little bit in little pieces here and there, but it was not that fun to play, so again, pretty straightforward explanation, brief history of each one of the creators here. The entire staff, little autographs here. An explanation here of Moore's Westford. I don't know who the fuck he is. Past due being the protagonist who walks around with him. And so you walk around with them, blah blah blah, and you have a dog, I think. I can't remember at this point anymore. Some extra characters. I mean, they did not go for the approach, which is kind of nice, of... Ooh. I'll show you that in a second. They didn't go for the approach of having pretty-looking heroes in this game. They just went for that gritty look, which I respect the art design behind this game. The game looks great, but that's it. I mean, that's the only positive thing. The music's pretty good, too. It's just the fact that, you know, the gameplay doesn't hold up. But I'll show you what I was talking about. Ooh. Look at that pixelization around the sword. That's what I just noticed. I was like, ooh. I mean, the art style, again, is pretty cool as well, and I'm not going to complain about that. I'm trying to find some positives out of this heap. That's all I can tell you. You got some more artwork, finally, of some characters, besides the illustration. You know, they're showing some comparisons of transparency between the characters, such as the costume design, you know, the full detail of what the weapon looks like, so they have like just a rough draft or an illustration towards that. That's just a scribble, I suppose. Lord Vaz. That's a fat motherfucker. Basically got that. Really cool. I mean, it's a good sized book, at least what this is. So from up to 31 pages of this, and it looks pretty good. Yeah. You got Corcel Lanster. Yeah. Probably some point in the future I'll probably replay this game anyway, just to see if maybe my mind will change, but I doubt it. So they go through the illustrations of how they created characters, some of the add-ins of the common folk. I wish you could have actually created your own character when you started the game. It would have been probably a little bit better. I mean, yeah, you can kind of create your character the way you want them. You can kind of fold them and bend them into like the origami you want out of them. But honestly, it's just the fact that I wish you could have just made a custom character. Or allowed you to play as Mars, or just play as Mars as whoever you wanted to make him as. Because I wonder what I did to do with like long hair anyway. So they give an explanation, a map, showing off things and stuff and things. Landscapes, which these are usually the meat and potatoes of this entire these books, within valid reason. They show pillars which contain harps or halberds of each one of the throned countries. I'm calling them throned countries because I have no detailed fucking the families, I guess you want to call them that. More detail, nice transparency with the, you know, the shading and all that. The north, which is all dark and scary looking. Castle Black. That's a black castle. Pretty cool looking though, I like it. Little explanations as well, so you see like a little raven, or little silhouette of a raven right here. And it'll say like blah 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 blah, you know, about the area. Which again, it's a pretty cool book. I mean, if you like the King of Thrones, wow, the Game of Thrones, then you'll probably love this book to pieces. I mean, so far I just like the artwork of this. I'm digging it. Really nice artwork. So yeah, I mean, that's all really I need to show you past that point. I'm going to put in the comments down below the Vagabond Collectibles redirects towards his stores, so that way hopefully he gets a little bit more traffic and hopefully a little bit more sales, because I'm grateful for the fact of how cheap I actually got this book. So yeah, take it easy. Thank you all for watching, and touch my nipples.